Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first video Team Venom Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by the Gins, and we'll be recapping some of the recent TNA events and the build to Slammiversary. And we have got one hell of a special guest for you later. Mitch, who've we got?
We've got the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle,
current TNA champion, and
his opponent EC3,
joining us live via telephone.
So we've got Slammiversary coming up on the card. We've got James Storm versus Magnus,
which has gotten really personal in recent weeks. We had the really, well, to be honest, it was slightly amusing but a bit far-fetched angle where James Storm threw Mickie James in front of a train and she just miraculously survived, which wouldn't happen in this country.
No.
What's next?
We've got the Dollhouse versus Kong and Brook.
Yeah, I saw some of on this week's Impact. I saw the whole thing where the Dollhouse were basically ganging up on Kong, but Kong was still just fighting him off, doing quite a good job of it. Brook comes running out, evens the odds, but I didn't really feel as if the odds needed evening. I think realistically, Kong's got this on her own.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We've got Jesse versus Robbie.
Jesse versus Robbie, the battle of the bromance.
Battle of the bromance.
Well, it's one of those things that they've kind of been building to and not building to for a while. They've been hinting at it and then they've not been doing it and they've not been following through. But I think when you've got a tag team like the Bromance who've worked so well together as a team, that chemistry should translate to a very good one-on-one match.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
For the match, we've got Dirty Heels, Robert Roode and Austin Aries versus the Wolves. It's going to be a great match, that is.
Well, it's match 5 in the best of 5 series. But obviously, match 4 is on this week's Impact, which will be in a Full Metal Mayhem match. And I've not been disappointed by any of the matches so far, and obviously the winner of this match will become the new TNA Tag Team Champions because obviously the title's vacated due to Jeff Hardy's injury. Next big match, Mitch.
Tiger Uno versus Loki versus Grado.
Yeah, and I'm going to go out on the record now and say I think Grado's got it. I think Grado's going to win this because of his build. He was, we were in a building, we were planning to meet Grado, and was told that he wasn't going to be there that evening because TNA whisked him away that day. They wanted him straight on the Impact tapings. They got him in virtually every backstage segment on the Impact that he debuted. They had him win his debut match. I can see them going with Grado for this. It's just a shame that it's at the expense of Mark Andrews, who won British Boot Camp and should have been assuring to be the X Division champ by now.
And of course we've got
main event, King of the Mountain, with as yet undisclosed competitors. Who would you like to see in the King of the Mountain match? If you could, name 5 guys. Past or present, give a shout out to Ben and say Ken Shamrock.
Well, of course, Ken Shamrock over there with Ben. No, honestly, I'd like Bobby Lashley to be in that.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, Ethan Carter. I think it's difficult
because you can only remember 3 TNA.
I can. MVP.
There you go. MVP. That's 4. Number 5.
Number 5. Tyrus.
Tyrus. Yes.
Yeah, it's about time he got pushed.
To be fair, that makes sense because obviously he's good friends with EC3 on screen, and he just turned down what I'm assuming is going to be a very large contract offer from Global Force in order to stay with TNA. So it makes sense to give him that push as a reward for loyalty.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd like to see that. So anyway, guys, that's the rundown for the Slammiversary card. We're now going to go live to the telephone lines where we're going to talk to Kurt Angle and EC3 about their upcoming title match and how they're going to prepare for each other.
Hi guys, this is Rory from Team Venom Wrestling Media. How's it going?
Very good,
hey, buddy. Cool. This is a bit of a question for you both, but we spoke to Ethan a few weeks back prior to him facing Rockstar Spud. And Ethan, you said to us that your goal was obviously beat Rockstar Spud, shave his head, go on to win the World Championship. And it looks like you're on the path to making that happen. How do you prepare for a match with Kurt Angle, who's one of the greats? And Kurt, how do you prepare for Ethan, who's a top up-and-comer?
Well, this is Kurt Angle. I'll go first. The thing is, at this point in my career, I consider myself an underdog every time I go in and wrestle. When you're at the latter part of your career and you lose a little bit of a half of a step, from where you were before. You learn to be humble. You learn to realize that you're fighting from underneath. I like that. I like being an underdog. I've always been an underdog my whole life. And knowing that EC3 is on top of his game and that he is undefeated, and that most people that would pick who's going to win this match, most people would pick EC3 because he is in the prime of his career. He has been primed for this match. He's been waiting for this match, and this is his night. This is his night. Whether he wins or loses, this is his night. This is his first world heavyweight title shot. But I like being an underdog and preparing for him. What I can do is give everything I have. And as long as I give everything I have, I know I can win. Will I win? I can't guarantee it, but I'm confident I will. And I know against EC3, it's going to be an incredible match. And I'm looking forward to being the underdog, even though I'm the champion. And I'm looking forward to defeating EC3 and giving him his first loss. I think that would be retribution for what he did to me last year.
Okay, thank you.
You know, there's a saying that you ain't as good as you once was, but you're as good as you'll ever be. And when you look at a guy like Kurt Angle, that's complete horse shit, because he is at the top of his game. He is still the very best. He is the man. And how do I, EC3, prepare for a match with a guy like Kurt Angle? I mean, do I train my ass off? Yes. Do I study tape? Yes. Do I put myself in the situation as many times as I can mentally? Yes. But none of that's going to matter, because until we actually play the game, until we're in the ring, we're not going to know what's going to happen. He's so, just the resume this man has is so incredible, so stout. And me being a newcomer, somebody who's always seen it from the outside, never really being able to experience it fully, the only thing I can say is that one thing that separates me from a lot of guys, maybe in this industry, maybe in this world, is that it's not over till I win. I do not accept defeat at any time, any juncture, any moment. It is not over until I win. And at Bell to Bell, July 1st, Destination America, 9 p.m., it will not be over until I win.
Okay, thank you both very much. That's brilliant, Chip. Also, Kurt, just as an aside, you're coming over to the UK for the London Film and Comic Con next month. Can you reveal any other TNA stars that might be coming with you?
I don't know of anybody else that's coming. I did book this outside of TNA. But I will be over there for a day to do some media for TNA for the UK tour in January. So I'm going to stay an extra day and then do some work for Impact Wrestling and promote the great tour we're going to have in January. But I do believe that Rey Mysterio will also be another wrestler that's going to be there, but I don't know of anybody else.
Okay, thank you. Well, hopefully catch you there. Thank you very much for your time.
Like I say, that was the TNA World Champion Kurt Angle and the #1 contender EC3. Mitch, are you looking forward to their match next week?
You know what? That interview has built me up so much. I'm going to go straight out. Kurt Angle's winning that match.
I don't know. Obviously, EC3 is undefeated. I think he's at the point where he's been built really well, and I think it's going to be like the same thing with Bobby Roode the other year when they built Bobby Roode versus Angle and Roode lost, and everyone just looked at him like boost and everything, because even though Kurt Angle's amazing and even though you want to see Angle win, that was a point where they built someone well and you knew that they should be taking the title, and I think this is the same sort of deal.
And it's the same deal. It was the last undefeated streak that Kurt Angle broke.
Samoa Joe. Yeah. Samoa Joe, my good buddy. That's a joke, he's not. And anyway, so Samoa Joe lost his undefeated streak to Kurt Angle. Obviously the same happened with EC3.
This is undefeated streak to Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Right, well, thanks for joining us, Mitch.
Yep.
Mitch, our wrestling correspondent, is now going to be leaving us, and we're going to be back in just a few seconds after a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back with the MMA Roundup. Thanks, Mitch. So that's our sponsor, Marathon Art. Cheers for the production work you've done on this show. Very good. And I'm now joined with Shez, the Shotgun Sheriff, former British wrestler, current aspiring MMA guy, MMA all-rounder expert, really, aren't you, man? And big-time Ken Shamrock fan. So, obviously, Shamrock, first ever TNA NWA champion. This weekend had the big fight. What did you make to it?
Well, the big fight. It was built up well. Rory, it was really built up to be, something spectacular. And I was hoping that we were going to see a knockout. We did. We saw a knockout. But really, the fight's been brought into question a lot, particularly on the internet. People have been calling it fake. They've been saying that Ken Shamrock forgot that he'd retired from professional wrestling.
I know one person who's been saying that as well. Haven't you, Ben?
I might have said such things. Well, really, the quality of the fight was something that I'd expect to see down at my local gym, in a community centre, where somebody put up their own octagon out of chicken wire and some fence posts. To be honest, it was really poor quality. When you think of the technical martial arts expert that Ken Shamrock is, and I wanted to see some of that come through. I mean, a rear naked choke that he couldn't pull off, and really it should have been game over at that point. And that's really brings into the cards of, was this real? Did they really actually fight each other? Because Kimbo Slice, he looked like he crawled out of a bin, let's be honest. He had some weight on him, but it wasn't muscle. I don't know what it wasn't muscle.
Probably fat, sir. It was probably fat. But obviously, when you're saying, was it real? Obviously, the thing that I enjoyed probably a bit more than the actual fight itself was Road Warrior Animal bringing him to the ring for the old LOD thing. That was awesome, and it felt more like it was something that you'd see in TNA or somewhere like that, not an MMA fight.
Yeah, it did have a bit of that touch to it, and really, like I say, it was really unprofessional, I think, and I don't think either fighters did themselves justice. I think.
Do you think you could do a better job?
Do I think I could do a better job? Yeah, I think both Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock are trouble to beat me in the octagon. I think with the skills that they showed.
So are you actually throwing out an open challenge to the internet, to the World Wide Web? Get Kimbo Slice, Ken Shamrock, either one of them, versus Shez the Shotgun Sheriff.
I want Ken Shamrock. I reckon I could take Ken Shamrock.
You reckon you can take Ken Shamrock?
I could take Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, if you're watching it, he reckons he can take you. Come on, got your challenge there.
No problem.
Hit us up at Team Venom Mag and let us know if you want to face this guy, Ken.
Shez the Shotgun Sheriff.
So, what else has been happening in the world of MMA, or is the whole Shamrock loss just devastated you too much?
It blew my mind apart, and I've been off the ball this week. Not like those.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of not related, because Bobby Lashley would have had him in an MMA fight. Would have had Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice too.
Yeah. No, I've been off the ball this week, I have to admit. That kind of devastated my life. I'd spent, numerous hours building up to this. My idol, Ken Shamrock, that I thought was going to win this hands down with his technical ability. And I even had to read his biography again just before the fight, just
to build yourself
just
up.
To build myself up, but I was let down like a lead balloon.
Fair enough. Followers of Team Venom may recall that Shez is one of our columnists in issue 3 who wrote the big column on how great he thought Ken Shamrock was. In our first podcast when we did the WrestleMania predictions, he said he wanted Shamrock in the Battle Royal and the Money in the Bank ladder match. Not Money in the Bank, sorry, Intercontinental title ladder match. That's right. He wanted Shamrock back on TV, and I think you were disappointed when he got back on TV. So.
I was. Not the Ken Shamrock though, no. It was because he didn't wear the blue pants. The trunks, the blue trunks. If he wore the blue trunks.
Or the brown.
No, the blue one.
Or the red. The orange ones were the best, to be fair.
I think the blue ones were.
I don't know, man. I think when he had those really dodgy tank colours, they kind of brought out the best in him, because the opponents kind of got a little bit fearful of holy crap, that looks like crap.
And let's just remember, Ken Shamrock was the first ever TNA champion.
Yeah.
So there's a big place, particularly when we're talking about, you know, the likes of Kurt Angle, you know,
EC3.
one of the greats. Ken Shamrock is along with those greats. And I don't think we're ever going to see him back in a wrestling ring other than the wrestling that he showed us in that matchup.
And if we did, one thing that I would like to definitely see is Angle versus Shamrock, because obviously be the master of the ankle lock, and you know, be down to see who has the better ankle lock.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ben. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you all soon on the next edition. Leave a comment, follow us on Twitter links, and yeah, catch you soon. Peace out.